was wondering, do you have the audio? I think it's in your morning dub episode. You have a line where it's like coakley crazy
Oh,
or
I've
something.
got that.
God.
Okay,
Who
that's my
came up
favorite.
with that? Who came up with that?
That's a Billy original.
Yeah, it came. There
Oh
was
my
a.
God.
I worked at a coffee roasters in Portland, Maine, where I grew up, and they had a coffee called Jamaican Me Crazy, and so Cloaking Me Crazy just was. My brain couldn't help but go there.
That's awesome.
Well, should we play
I
that
tried
song
to
too? Then we
Google
could do that
that,
song.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean,
guys-
look, I've got them at the ready, so I can play
Nice.
Okay.
whatever
You
dub
need to-
audio you want, you know?
Sweet.
Okay, cool,
You have
cool.
to trademark that. I tried Googling it because I was trying to see if I could just hear that, and it's not on Google yet. So
Oh, yeah.
you guys have to get it.
Yeah.
That's when you'll know you've made it.
Yeah. Dang.
Put it on a T-shirt.
Wow. Yeah. That's a big idea. I love that. Dang.
All right. Well, welcome back, everyone, to Birds of a Feather Talk Together. We're really excited to have Billy and Tommy joining us from Extremely Accurate Bird Songs. So we're huge fans of theirs, and we've been just loving like every song they've released and every episode that they released. So we were so happy that they were able to come on and join us.
Thank you.
They're actually going to play a couple songs for us too while we're on. So guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Oh my God, thanks for having us. I mean, we were talking before we start taping. I was telling you guys this, but like, I love your podcast, and also I've used your podcast to prepare for our podcast. So thank you for the scholarship and detail you've put into your bird research.
I love that we have like a similar mission. Like we're doing an episode on a bird. I don't know if either of us are going to make it to 11,000 or Shannon. Is it 20,000? How many birds are there?
This is a very controversial subject. I do think there are 20,000 species of birds. I do. John does not. So our household is divided.
We're in the minority. I mean, I would go up to 18,000 for sure.
Got it. Okay.
Dan Baldessari, who's an ornithologist we had on recently, he said he very confidently was like, no, it's like just over 11,000. And we were like, okay, I don't.
So the only way you'll know is to ask someone to define their species concepts. And then you'll know. And if you want to get into even more controversy than how many species there are, you can get into how you define a species. So anyways,
Yeah. It's
we
intense.
try not.
And then you argue.
I
That's
think
exactly right.
that's going to kick in for you guys when you get up to about 5,000 episodes.
It's nice.
You know, I was curious. It's okay if this is a secret, but what birds do you have coming up on your show?
Ooh.
We have a
So,
whole bunch of
Shannon, do you wanna-
we have a whole bunch of kingfisher episodes. I have a big
awesome.
project on kingfishers, and I love kingfishers. You guys need to do some things on kingfishers. I'd be really curious to see what you take away from.
I feel like their rattling call would be really great to integrate into a beat.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
they've got
That would be
a
awesome.
great musical weird call.
And what do you guys have coming up?
Oh,
Oh, we're cooking. We've
we've
got
got-
some good ones.
there's going to be a robin song coming up,
Nice.
a European starling song, a pileated woodpecker song,
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
and then we've got
Yeah.
a few more in the writing. Yeah, we realized we kind of need to shift gears to writing again. So, yeah. But yeah, it's very fun. It's definitely, the whole producing a song thing is a whole other element, but it's very, very fun. Oh, and red-breasted merganser's coming up too.
Oh,
Ooh.
sweet.
Oh, nice.
I think you guys
yeah.
have to record the robin song at 4 a.m. to be authentic.
Yes.
The annoyance that robins actually are.
Yeah.
Yes. For real.
Yeah, I talk about that as the difference between when I wake up an hour and a half before my girlfriend and just drink coffee that entire time, and she wakes up and I'm like, blah, 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 just blabbing at her, moving a million miles an hour. I'm like the robin outside her window.
I always think, what on earth do they think they're accomplishing at that time of day? It's dark. What are you doing?
Yeah. What's the big thrush? You know?
Exactly.
Oh, hey.
Sorry.
Nice.
Swish.
Well, so I was curious before we get into songs, like, so how did you guys get started, and how did you guys meet each other? And I mean, you guys seem so polished and are so much fun. Like, how did this all? What was the impetus for all this?
Ooh.
Billy, you want to take this one?
Well, sure. I'll say one thing. I was thinking about today where the podcast feels especially appropriate because Tommy and I really first started collaborating with our solo projects because we met on tour. Tommy was touring with Jukebox and I was touring with Ingrid Michaelson. And then we just became super buds and we were sort of doing acoustic shows where like I would play on some of Tommy's songs, he would play on some of my songs. And we actually did like some little baby tours. And what was funny around that time is I had really serious, sad emo songs. Like for some reason I was like, okay, that's the lane I need to go in. But then my banter in between the songs was like, hey folks, blah, 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 blah. You know, like it didn't make any sense. So I was thinking today, Tommy, about how like this feels like the right time for us to just be goofy. And then there's no 5-minute long emo song people have to wait through.
Yeah, for sure.
But
So,
yeah,
I mean, like, yeah, we've been music buds forever. I mean, for the last decade or so. And again, he's been playing with Ingrid Michaelson for a long time, and I have a band called Jukebox the Ghost. But really, in our collaboration, mostly in life, was just being like nature buddies in Brooklyn and going on camping trips. And it wasn't until I've got these really dumb calendars that I do, the Extremely Accurate Birds calendars.
Yes.
Those are awesome.
And legend.
I started, I don't know, just, drawing those every year, and that kind of was becoming a bigger and bigger part of my life. And I don't know, we were just sort of kicking around the idea of like, what if we turned it into a podcast, and we came up with this gag of like, what if we're on a quest to write a song about every bird species known to man, which we can easily accomplish in the next few hundred years. And I think the first one that came up was Billy was like, check this out. What if we had a song about the American crow? And he plays me this song. It just totally melts my face. And that started us on the journey. And we're trying to kind of keep the Lennon McCartney of stupid going, where we, one of us maybe cheerleads one song, we're kind of trading off vocals and sometimes co-writing and sometimes, pitching songs at each other, and working towards the first ever potentially Balbum, bird album. Many are saying the first ever. I don't know.
Yeah. I had a real moment while camping where I said Balbum and as if everyone knew what that was. And then I had to start like, oh, I'm sorry. Bird album.
Oh, that's our world. We say things all the time that we think everybody knows the words and people just look at you blankly. Yeah. But that happens to me as a Canadian all the time too. There are words that Americans just don't know, that I don't realize that they don't know. So, garbage disposal. What's a garbage disposal to Canadians?
Oh.
A garburator.
Whoa.
So,
What?
yeah.
Really?
My favorite one is Smarties.
Yes, you guys have it
Canadian
wrong.
and American Smarties are very different.
They are.
Yeah.
Wait, what's a Smartie?
Is it like an M&M?
It's like an M&M.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's an M&M.
No, it's better than
They're
an
edible
M&M.
chalk here.
Exactly.
I don't like American Smarties. I got fooled with those my first Halloween in the U.S. because someone said
Yeah.
there's Smarties in the bowl. I'm like, no, there aren't.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
I feel like that's the only time you see them as Halloween, and they're gross.
Yeah. They were always like the bottom of the barrel for me 2 weeks
mean-
after Halloween,
You try to
I think
trade
your
them.
house
Yeah.
will be egged. If you give those out, I think your house could be egged.
For real.
Yeah.
That's a disappointment completely.
Yeah, it's kind of the Halloween candy equivalent of like, giving your nephew an Apple gift card for his birthday or something. It's like just very low effort.
Yeah. Garburator, though, I am super behind that.
Yeah.
Because
I love
garbage disposal,
Garburator.
that just sounds like that could also be a trash can, but Garburator.
Yeah.
And I also think it gives you the bit of like, whoa, that a garbage disposal deserves. You know what I mean?
Don't mess with the carburetor.
Yes.
And the other one is cheesy. Do you know what a cheesy is? Yeah, see, that's the
No.
blank look and silence that I've gotten ever since I moved to the U.S., which is a long time at this point. Yeah, our Cheetos, which are called cheesies here, and they're actually made with real cheese. So for me,
Oh.
a cheesy is a puffed corn thing with cheese. but
Yeah.
that's not. Nobody else knows what that is, but everybody
Well-
up here knows what that word means.
In America, we just call that food.
Yeah.
Health food.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Farm to
Exactly.
table.
That's
Yeah, it's in the
That's,
pyramid.
that's called vegetable.
So I wanted to ask Tommy, I love your drawings, and I wondered, why do so many of your birds have naked human butt cheeks?
You know, you said I don't know what you're talking about. My goal is to draw them as accurately as possible. So a lot of I've gotten this comment very frequently. You're not alone in asking this question, but as birders, it's very difficult to get a really good look at a bird's legs and rump. Like, it's often concealed in the brush, hard to get a good look. So I'm drawing them how I think they, like, ornithologically speaking, how they simply must appear if we could see them.
So that's what they look like.
I've wondered. Thank you for illuminating things for us. That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
That's not compatible
you-
with the whole cloaca thing.
That's true.
Tommy's drawings could go from PG-13 to R really quick
Yeah.
if we start.
Well, we have a segment on our podcast called where we talk about mating rituals and nesting called "Cloaking Me Crazy," which Billy wrote a banging theme song. Which can I play it?
Oh, please do.
Please.
Okay,
Yeah.
Here's "Cloaking Me Crazy" by Billy Libby.
Cloaking me crazy.
Cloaking me crazy.
Cloaking me crazy.
We're talking mating rituals.
Cloaking me crazy.
Cloaking me crazy.
Cloaking me crazy.
We're talking mating rituals.
Incredible.
I love that. I love that.
I
Do
feel
you
like a lot
wake
of
up with these dreams? Do you wake up with these weird things going through your head?
That's a good question. Oh man. Yes. And I go to sleep with them. And
I feel like a lot of the humor in our podcast is just that with these recordings, it's just like that. As a listener, I hope that people are listening to it going like, why did they spend so much time on this?
yeah.
Like we probably spent a good few hours recording "Cloaking Me Crazy."
Oh
you know?
yeah.
That's awesome.
It was worth
And
it.
we're
It was worth it.
dissecting
Yeah,
the tone,
It's awesome.
I don't know, man. What does that baseline sound right to you?
Yeah, no, we did like so many
Try it
takes
again.
of the guitar lead in the background, trying to get that like Mutron, Jerry Garcia 1977 guitar pedal sound, Going deep.
I want to do different versions of that, like a cozy version,
Oh.
So that'll be
Oh,
fun.
Like a-
what about
like
an
a Barry
acoustic
White.
version? You need an
Yeah,
acoustic
exactly.
version.
I actually have been working on an acoustic version.
I think you've just justified why all those birds have butt cheeks.
Yep. Yeah. Just- Have you guys? Okay, here's a question. Have you ever? Because somebody actually that I was with on the camping trip, this first camping trip post podcast. So the podcast came up a few times. Weren't sure what the cloaca was, and I was realizing, have you guys really talked about the cloaca?
I on an episode accidentally called it a cochlea, like your cochlear implant. And I asked a serious question to John and Shannon about the cochlea. And Shannon looked at me like I had two heads. She was like, "You mean the cloaca?"
Well, that's very unique to birds, right? Like, are they the only animals in the kingdom with just one hole for all business?
Good question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that's
we haven't
something.
gotten too in depth on it. Yeah.
No. I
we
think
can put
the
that
most
on the
we
list.
talked about it was like
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
mallard.
And we've got some
episode.
music
Yeah,
now.
we
Yeah.
talked about it
Yes.
in an RX-rated episode, which was about
That's right,
mallards.
Shannon.
So I want to know
Yes.
how
Oh.
far you're going to go into the duck world.
Oh.
Well, we've done red-breasted merganser already, so that tells me that we're we're buckling up to get real specific because that's not exactly the first one you would do.
No.
Wait, do they have a curly fry?
I like you guys know what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, I was like, that's very true.
That's a
choice.
cheesy to our Canadian listeners.
A cheesy. They have a cheesy.
Well, we had a guest named Bonner Black, who's a wonderful songwriter / birding influencer, and she had started a song that was about, what was it?
Oh God,
blue-
it's so funny. Yeah,
A duck that was like, it's insane. We're talking the biggest curly fry.
Yes, so that's a ruddy duck.
Oh, ruddy duck.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, holy
Yeah.
mackerel.
Oh,
18
wow.
inches,
Although I think the one
3
she was
feet.
singing about is like some South American.
Okay,
duck or
yeah,
something.
there's
Okay.
it's in the same genus.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff you're going to get from extremely accurate bird songs.
Do you guys want to play another song?
Yeah.
Should we listen to? Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see. So, I mean, we talked about the crow being, it's not the first episode, but crow is the first one that came to the table. Billy
Okay.
played me a demo of this, and I was like, okay, dude. Here, buckle up.
Let's do a podcast.
And yeah, we added some stuff together and had the drummer of my band, Jesse Kristen of Jukebox the Ghost, add some drums, and here it is.
From up in my tree. You think you're so smart, but you have no idea what me and my crows are thinking. What me and my murderer are up to.
Did you know we can recognize individual human faces? We understand the physics of water displacement. And best of all, did you know we're songbirds, even though we eat other songbirds?
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
That is
Oh,
so
that
good.
was awesome.
That is
I'm
your
so
best one so far. Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for birds for that song.
But you know, the only reason it sounds like that is because you guys know something about birds, right? So
Yeah.
the whole
That's right.
eating other songbirds and its brain and its craftiness. If you don't learn things about birds, you don't get those lyrics.
Yeah, well, one
and-
thing we've talked about too, well, it's just sometimes we have to. I've never had songwriting where fact checking is so important. You know what I mean? I'll like get
Yes.
started. I'll be like, oh crap, this bird doesn't live in the bush at all, and the whole rhyme scheme is based on bush. You know what I mean? But this one, I felt a little bad because I realized the crows are actually wonderful, charming birds, and I kind of made them. I typecast them a little bit as like
Yeah,
the
I
goth
think they
dudes
would.
causing trouble.
Here's the thing, though. I think they would much prefer to project to you, you know, that's how they are. So I think they would be happy with.
I get that. That
Oh.
makes me think like, you know, like the goth kids who like seem like they're really like standoffish, but then they're really sweeties, you know, when you go talk to them. And
I'm not so sure crows are such sweeties when you go up and talk to them, because their brains, their brains are so big. You think they're calculating all the time, you know. So I don't think I'd turn my back on a crow.
Our first guest, Ellen Weatherford, pointed out on this song that she was like, I really like the genre that you guys are exploring in this song, and I actually think that more songs in this genre should have a breakdown where they just say facts, like a sort of like, like if Enter Sandman had like a "Did you know the Sandman has been in culture for hundreds of years?"
That would be awesome.
Also, I will say with the Bird podcast, I was so excited with Tommy because, as I said, as a songwriter, sometimes you feel like you need to kind of pick a lane, But with this one, I was like, oh, there's a home for this super weird metal song that would have made no sense in my life in any other context. But then, like with birds, trying to write a song for every bird, you really get to try and, do an ode to every genre, which I feel like is kind of the like underspoken thing about our podcast. Like we don't talk about it, but that's what we're trying to do is like have a genre ode, to this music we love. Like it felt like a bingo checklist with Tommy when you did that guitar solo, like I was like, I just want to do like make people feel metal, and that part, man, when you do that solo, I'm like metal, I'm just ready to slam around.
I love how you guys incorporate like the actual bird calls into all your songs too. Like, I feel like that really works with that one too, like the squawk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be interested with red-breasted merganser in that sense.
Well, that's used very differently. Tommy, shall we? I mean, the podcast isn't out yet. Is that against the rules? I don't know.
No, I would don't. You guys.
Oh yeah, I guess that might be.
That's a teaser. Let's use it that way.
Let's put it this way. It actually, I would say that it's interesting. Like some of these songs we kind of write before we do the research for the episode. Like we do some research to write the song, but we like really do research for the episode to talk about it. And Red-breasted merganser is a really funny one because I don't know why I was just like I'm really amused by YouTube videos of their mating. Of their mating calls and the grunting and the kind of like that weird neck dip that they do, and so it became this like very romantic kind of like Disney Broadway kind of a thing, which in hindsight, now that I've done more research, is a really funny thing to do for, the bullet point for red-breasted merganser is more that it's like maybe the fastest bird on the planet. Like it flies 81 miles per hour. The song is not fast.
Yeah, it's like Phantom of the Merganser kind of.
Yeah, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, totally.
I'm excited for that.
Do you find that doing these bird songs is changing other aspects of your music or how you write? I mean, what is the influence?
We'll find out, I guess.
The question is what their bandmates are going to think.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, Billy, I don't know how you feel. I think I'm interested to see what it's like to bounce back from this into like serious songwriting because I've been putting so much brain muscle into writing the dumbest songs possible for birds, and like it's very satisfying. It's gonna be hard to transition back into like, I wrote this poem in my diary and I'm gonna write a song using these lyrics.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You're exercising the wrong parts of your brain, getting them nice and big and muscly.
So maybe you won't have to do that. Like you won't have to go back to that.
Yeah. I'm hoping not. I'm
just
fully bird brain all the way, baby. The only pivot I want to do is like maybe extremely accurate snake songs or just like another animal. But I'm done with my feelings. Get out of here.
Don't do fish.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
There we go. It's a challenge.
Never say never, right?
Yeah.
After you get done with the 18,000 birds, you can do it.
Yeah. We got one thing at a time.
Oh, can I put in a request? I want to hear the Red-winged blackbird song.
Oh yeah. Okay, so the Red-winged blackbird, we just released a really fun episode with Dan Baldessari, who's an ornithologist at SUNY Oswego, which was really fun to have like someone who does bird banding and leads bird studies, like actually decide if our music is extremely accurate. And this one, I'll just play it and then we can talk about it.
That's a red-winged blackbird. From Chicago to LA, from coast to coast, that's where you'll find me. Haven't you heard? I'm a red-winged blackbird. When you're a bird that looks as good as me, it'd be a shame to waste it on monogamy. I have up to 15 mates, and I can't wait for my next mate. We're fine, and we know it. That's right. Little red of the yellow on the shoulder, and we're gonna show it. Fresh on. We're fine, and we know it. That's right. Little red of the yellow on the shoulder, and we're gonna show it. Fresh on. From Canada to Mexico, mention my name, damn right they'll know. They've all heard of the red-winged blackbird. Hey, ladies.
Yeah, ooh, he's cute.
I'm going to need 15 volunteers. We're fine, and we know it. That's right. Little red and the yellow on the shoulder, and we're gonna show it. We're fine, and we know it. Little red and the yellow on the shoulder, and we're gonna show it. Little red and the yellow on the shoulder, and we're gonna show it.
Yes.
There we have it.
Okay,
I love
have
that.
a little bit of a bone to pick with you guys.
No,
about-
actually,
I'm ready.
Wait a minute, Shannon. So you guys started that episode. We were listening to this on this car drive we just took all the way from Chicago to British Columbia. And so one of the things you started that episode out, and by the way, we were seeing red-winged blackbirds basically every 300-400 meters all along on that entire route on the interstate.
Dan
But-
will be happy
But-
in the ditch.
Yeah, in the ditch.
ditch, in the
yeah.
ditch.
So where I'm going with that is you started with asking people for criticism,
Absolutely.
and I'll stop there.
And then I paused the podcast and I'm like, I'm going to lose my mind
Okay.
because of the male bias that you exhibited in that
It's true.
podcast. So the reality is that male red-winged blackbirds are desperate and showing off in a way that makes them seem desperate. And it's actually the females that are doing the choosing, not the male. The females doing the choosing.
I love that. Hell yeah.
Very cool.
So he's
the
out
best-
there
that's the best kind of
displaying and
corrective.
screaming at the top of his lungs to catch someone's attention, and she's deciding whether he's worthy to mate with or not.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah,
And-
we're totally wrong. That's more like a cat caller, and he's just hoping to catch. You know.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
dang.
And she has all the cards because she might look at him and say, okay, well, I think I want my babies to have slightly redder epaulets because that's good for mating. So I'm going to mate here with this guy, but I'm going to go have my nest with the 14 other females in the other male's territory because this guy's a better provider. And those aren't always connected, right? So,
Wow.
but what you are is like every male ornithologist that's ever lived, basically. And
Oh dang.
The only thing I'll say is that what might precede the patriarchy in this case is our stupidity. So
Yeah.
no, that's not the case. That is not the case.
they stack. They stack for sure.
There's 200 years of literature preceding you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dang. Well,
So
that's
this is-
good info.
This is why female birds are not studied, because you only think that the fancy things, the epaulets, are the most important thing, not female choice, which is actually the determinant of all of those other characteristics. So, and female plumages change more than males do, but males are often brighter, so people pay attention to the males. But it's the changes in female plumages that often drive the differentiation in particular groups like tanagers, for example. So
We got to have you advise the song.
I know, yeah, we got to start there.
That's good.
Before I get on to verse 2, I'm sending you songs like.
I didn't mean to be so hypercritical, but I'm like, oh no, not them too.
No.
Well,
no,
look, we even have sound drops for this occasion. Like we've got this.
Let's double check that. Not quite.
You know, so we are very happy to be wrong on the Extremely Accurate Bird Songs podcast, and through your wisdom and criticism, we're going to make better bird songs. That's how I feel.
There you go. I just felt really old because I when I paused I even wrote it in my notes. It's like, how old am I that I can't just enjoy that you guys made something hilarious, and there I am. Oh no, it's not right. It's not scientifically accurate.
No, you're stopping just like the cascading of dumb ideas through history. You know what I mean? You're trying to putting a stop to it. You know what I mean? Setting the record straight. And as a bird podcast, thank you for that.
I might be where fun goes to die, though.
No way.
Yeah.
Where brains go to get the real stuff, the real knowledge.
So I wanted to say, from a lay person standpoint, I loved the idea that they're like this cool guy, because like they're so common around here. Like we may see like 50 a day if we go out birding. They're everywhere, and I liked the idea that they're like this cool guy. I liked it a lot. So,
but
from
it also
a
makes
stupid person.
But it also makes sense though to know, because like I describe them as a himbo a little bit. You know, somebody who's like really like, just trying to make up for a lack of self, and so what you're saying makes complete sense to me, to know that they're just really trying so hard, because like most of the female birds are like,
Yeah.
Try harder.
maybe not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we kind of opted to go for like a from the patriarchal red-winged blackbird perspective, went for a very I'm too sexy, like early 90s Fine Young Cannibals. In fact, I think I even took a reference from the snare drum of She Drives Me Crazy, like that.
I totally got that right away, the Fine Young Cannibals.
Heck yeah.
So good for you guys.
Yeah, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Completely.
What a snare drum sound.
It's
Also,
very
a fun thing about
distinctive.
making bird rock. In regular rock, might not be as fun to just lift a snare from a song, but in bird rock, hell yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you're going to get into some mimicking birds down the road. You won't get in trouble for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're going to do some wrens. I'm so curious about how your brain manages like nightingale wren or something like that.
Well, can we brainstorm for a second? So, we haven't gone into the universe of wrens yet. My temptation would be to emphasize the kind of duetting that wrens do, but I don't know. Where would you go if you were writing a wren song?
Well, again, your goal is all the birds of the world, so you'll eventually get at all of that. So that, I think that makes it fine to think about duetting and thinking about some of these really amazing vocalizations and things. Like musician wren is the one that comes to my mind, which is this thing that sounds like somebody whistling in the forest.
Wow.
With an infinite number of notes. I mean, it just...
Whoa.
Are those in America?
No, they're down in the Amazon basin.
Oh, cool.
What about birds that are pretty silent? Then what do you do?
Well, I mean, I would say red-breasted merganser is a great testimony to the ability to figure that stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, red-breasted merganser, we just opted to imagine what their romantic inner monologue might be. Well, let me play like a teaser of that one. Let's say.
Okay.
I stretch my neck out and call you gently. I see you gliding across the pond. I hear you calling. I think I'm falling for a duck that's just as handsome as I dreamed. Are you the answer, red-breasted merganser?
Anyway, that's just a teaser for now.
That was awesome.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. I love
So
that.
beautiful. I'm just seeing it and seeing it happen. in
Yeah, it's
my
definitely a
mind.
Disney on ice kind of, specifically on
yes.
ice.
Yeah, I imagine like the ice there, like it's just like sparkling, as they're going by, skating together.
Well, and they're doing a lot of that in the winter as the ice is breaking up on places like Lake Michigan.
Oh.
So that's actually, I think, really accurate. They're pairing up. That's when they start. So there you go.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Wait, so I don't know what a merganser sounds like then. Is there call? Did it make it into the song? Or
Yeah, we've
they
got a
silent?
little bit
Yeah.
where we
Okay.
put their kind of, they're grunting. They have
Yeah,
like
it's
like a sort of like, yeah.
And do they do that while they do that neck thing? I totally know what you're talking about with the neck thing.
I
Is
think
that one?
it's around the same time. I don't think it's part of the neck thing. Maybe
Okay.
if anyone
Okay.
else wants to correct me there, but
I'm realizing I'm not sure.
Yeah, me neither.
the neck thing is really worth looking up though. It's great. They like stretch their neck out really far and then kind of do this like dipping motion into the water. They
Yeah.
dip it under the water, and the lady kind of looks back and is like, "I'm not impressed." And keeps going.
Yeah.
Should we do another song?
Oh wow.
Wow. Hell
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Well,
Yeah, we
I should also. We've been getting into in more recent episodes. We've been getting into like sort of like micro targeting specific species with songs that already exist. So, for example, because as a tribute to Brian Wilson,
Oh,
we were working on this one.
I see you I saw it in a salty marsh diving for fish.
They swim like they're peaceful, but at any moment they'll die.
Anyways,
Wow.
trying to get in there, you know.
Well
You guys
done.
can do you guys can do any genre.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
incredible.
I was so impressed
Incredible.
at Tommy's voice being able to do such a good Beach Boys impression. It's
Well, I've got
wild.
some good like
amazing.
tape emulators, and I've discovered if you do a rough impression of somebody and then put a lot of tape emulation on it, your brain kind of fills in the gaps.
Awesome.
But not just the singing. I mean, just the music in general. Like,
Oh
it's
well, the
incredible. That
music's
sounded
from the
like a Beach
original.
Boys song.
The music's
Oh,
from the original.
okay.
In that
Okay.
case, yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
That was awesome.
How do you guys pick what birds you're gonna do? We get asked that question a lot, and it's literally like the four of us just bounce ideas off each other and whatever we feel like. How do you guys pick what you do?
So usually the songs, like sometimes, like Gamble's Quail was a bird we saw together. But yeah, just birds of our lives that inspire a song or match a riff that I'm working on, I've got a riff right now that I'm trying to.
Birds of our lives.
I've got a riff right now, and I'm like, Tommy, is this more vulture or more red-tailed hawk?
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're always sending little ideas. Like I've got like a, I don't know. Like I was hiking with my dad recently, and I was like, oh my god, the yellow-rumped warbler, like the butterbutt, needs to have like a Justin Timberlake kind of like sexy back sort of early 2000s kind of thing. It has to. So we're
Yeah,
starting
give a
that.
taste.
Oh, it's like I got yellow under my chin, I got yellow under my wing. You see me shaking that thing. Let me get a look at that butt.
That sounds awesome.
But it's
You're
very
the
haphazard.
coolest nerds in the history of nerddom.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about me. Thank you.
I mean, I also love how you're incorporating the various scientific terms into the songwriting and trying to get things to rhyme with monogamy is something people haven't tried before, I think.
Yeah. We're trying our best, and I also am fully aware that if we went to a bird convention, we might get beaten up.
No, they would love it. Are you
They-
kidding?
Yeah.
Have you
Oh
all
my
been? We
God.
just heard about these for the first time. Have you been?
So wait. So remember. So I don't think RJ and Amanda have been to a birding convention, have you? So
No.
Shannon and I have, but of course we also, like Dan Baldessari, are professional ornithologists. So we go to professional ornithological meetings where they're
So
just
cool.
talking about monogamy and polygyny and all these
No
things the
rhyming
entire
needed.
meeting. But I would say both those groups would be absolutely fascinated by you guys.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
Morbidly,
absolutely.
or do you?
No. Morbidly. My God. Like planning to see you in an open casket? No.
I'm trying to think. So here's how nerdy the American Ornithological Society is. They have a tradition that was actually started by one of our former graduate students of doing a Jeopardy view thing based on purely bird questions. But one of the categories the last couple years has been Pokemon birds.
Oh, that's nice.
So you guys, there's a future here. It's
Mm-hmm,
not going to make a lot of money, but
How do you know, John?
that's true.
They're
When that Yellow Run
they're
Forever
just
song
trying-
comes out,
We're trying to get free seed. That's all. Free seed.
Free seed, yes.
That'll help.
That's awesome.
Okay, then you're gonna do a Wild Birds Unlimited song.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we gotta get that.
ooh,
Yeah, ask them to
Unlimited.
sponsor.
I can see walking into the Wild Birds Unlimited and hearing that crow song.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
people, you
be
would be the
amazing.
biggest hits at a bird conference. I can't even tell you how much people would enjoy what you do. I'm not joking, for real.
I want to do that so bad.
we
That's
want
all I
to
wanna do.
go. We want to do it.
A month ago or so, I did this comedy thing. I stepped way outside my comfort zone, and it was
Wow.
a comedy show where, as a scientist, you brought 5 slides to talk about a research project, and they assigned you a comedian, and the comedian looked at your slides and did a riff on your slides before me ever got up.
Oh, that's awesome.
and it was really interesting and very bizarre. Amanda and RJ and John were all there, but
What a
Yeah.
and it was a very creative and I think interesting thing to do. But at the end, they had this really, really fun thing where they gave one of the comedians AirPods, and they played actual bird songs into her earbud, and she had to describe the sound so that the ornithologists in the room to see if we could figure out what it was.
Oh, wow. I
And-
love that.
And she was hilarious doing this, like so funny. But you guys could do that too. You could see if people can figure out what bird you're, that you're actually
Oh my
making
gosh,
songs
yeah.
associated with. And that ornithologists love that competition where their stakes are so low. Yeah.
Can I actually, since I have some ornithologists on the line right now, can I attempt to do some live Merlin IDing right now? If I sing you a bird song that I've been wondering about, could you maybe help me?
Probably
So-
not.
So it goes like almost like that, and I remember I hear it because it's Heroes in a Half Shell Turtle, but without the turtle power.
Ninja Turtles?
From Ninja Turtles theme song.
TMNT,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but literally the song is, or like something like that. And then in my brain I always go turtle power.
I can't
We
get
can
that.
put you on to some people. Probably, I think Shannon and I aren't musical enough to.
It's okay. I
up
also
on
just
that.
might have made the whole thing up. It could have been
No,
a
no,
dream.
but it's funny. So I was thinking as we were getting ready for this of calls like that I like, and so one of my favorite ones is olive-sided flycatcher, which goes hick 3 beers.
Oh, that's cool.
There you go.
Well, I'll let you know if I ever
Yeah.
get to ID that Heroes in a Half Shell bird.
Yes.
But now I
Heroes in a
can't.
Half
I
Shell.
can't hear anything else but that. I don't know how to turn it back into what a bird might actually be because it's gone now.
That's great.
Hey, have you guys toyed with the idea of ever doing like live shows? Like go on tour and actually like play a
We've daydreamed,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
One day. I mean, we're just trying to build what we're doing right now, you know. So
For sure.
Yeah.
it would be a dream to be able
Yeah.
to play a
Yeah.
live show. It'd be
We-
so fun.
Yeah.
We know a
Cool,
venue in
cool.
Chicago that would be very interested in you. as
Wow.
Shannon is telling you.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, the more people we've talked to, and I mean, we just heard about the bird circuit for the first time. So, oh my gosh, that'd be so fun. You know,
Yeah.
we do some acoustic versions. Acoustic crow, no big deal.
We did just get. I mean, you know, we're a baby podcast, so we're just starting out. But the we
Fledgling
did just
pod.
get our first. We just got our first sponsor.
Oh, cool.
Oh, congrats.
Check this out.
Are you trying to grind the grubs in your gullet and gizzard? Let your tummy take a load off with Billy and Tommy's gut grinded gizzard gravel. Just a single pouch of premium gravel will keep you running smooth for weeks. Only $44.99 per month, and use the discount code Good Grief. It's gut grinding gravel for 4% off. Your stepping stone to good gut health is stones.
Nice.
So we're pretty pumped about that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Can we talk about that? Why do birds eat gravel and pebbles like that?
Yeah.
And Shannon?
They have to grind things up, right? Not all birds do it, but if you were to eat corn, dried corn things, you're not going to get any nutrients if you can't break them up into small pieces. So they have muscles and in their gizzard, and they have stones in there. They eat the stones and swallow them, but keep them there, and that it'll grind up, like really grind up, very, very thick, big honking things. They can grind up with that.
Wow.
But
Do you think we're missing out?
I know. Should we have a gizzard?
I'm not swallowing
Stones.
Or stones? Yeah, or stones. Yeah.
I don't know. People who have kidney stones might not think so. I don't. I'm not so keen on stones.
It's just weird to think of birds before that just being like, man, something's not right. I'm down to try anything, but my gut is not. Something's not right. I'll try anything.
I'm starving. I'm starving. Let me get some rocks.
Yeah.
But that
And then it was
behavior
passed
happened
down through time,
early.
like, just eat some rocks.
Behavior happened early in the evolution of birds. So that's
Okay.
Yeah.
they didn't have to think about it for too long before they solved the problem.
Well, I think
That's
the plants started, it's kind of like an evolutionary arms race where the plants started making harder, bigger seeds to get away from the birds, and the birds are like, hey, wait a minute. What if we do this? See,
But then they make a truce because then the birds will disperse the seeds that the plants couldn't survive without the birds. So then you get to this nice synergy.
It is amazing, just like that birds, aka dinosaurs, have been on this planet for so long that there's just so many mysteries that are still being solved. I mean, like I was just listening to your it's about the you guys had the black cap chickadee episode where you talked about it deactivating its brain, like different parts of it for different seasons, right? Like that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I love that. Birds are amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. We agree.
Let's hear it.
You guys should do. Speaking of dinosaurs, this is one of our favorite birds we've all done, and Shannon and John introduced us to it as the Watson.
Wow.
Have you guys looked at the Watson yet? This is one of the wildest birds out there. I feel like, and Shannon knows a lot about it.
Wait, spell that.
I think of all
spell that?
It's Hoatzin.
Watson.
But
oh my goodness!
I will say it's vocally challenged.
No, not much of a song.
But not behaviorally challenged.
Wow. Why is it called a stink bird?
Because
they
of the
smell.
things
Good
they
question.
eat. They stink.
Yeah, they're basically ruminants. They leaves and things, and so they have a lot of bacteria to break things down. And
Oh, wow. And they stink?
yeah,
They do. They do. You can even smell it on the specimens in the museum, so that it maintains the stench long after death. But they have all that cool crest. They're like punk rock birds. They also, the babies have claws on them, on their wings, and there's really great videos of them climbing up trees. It's absolutely hilarious. Because if you're going to nest over water, you better have a way of getting yourself out of the water when you fall in it.
Watson. What genre would it be? If you were to,
The stink
Good
bird.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
I would go with some kind of atmospheric type thing too, because systematically they're not closely related to anything else, and they're kind of at the base of the tree by themselves.
Yeah, they're an enigma.
Like Enya? Like, would you do like
There we
a
go.
Enya?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or Bjork.
Or Bjork? Yes, awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because she says they're weird, and she's a little bit on the weirder side.
Bjork, yes.
Wow, cool. Heck yeah.
All right, and yeah, here we come for the stink bird. I gotta say, I would not have predicted that pairing, but I think it's very cool.
I was thinking maybe like Primus or something. Like, you know how like some bands from the '90s just smell like a basement, or like they do like a basement band,
I love Primus, but they smell bad in my mind.
Yeah, like bong water or something.
That is awesome. Oh my gosh. Oh, so where did you guys see a Gamble's quail?
Ooh, Joshua Tree National Park.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, because awesome. I live out in LA, so Billy's in New York and I'm in LA. And yeah, we did like a birthday camping trip for Billy and to the Mojave and saw some adorable Gamble's quails.
That's awesome.
Should we listen to that song?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
This one's a little moodier. I gotta say, this one's not quite as like zany. So just I would just say like imagine that you are in the desert and you're gripped by the spooky, lonesome fear of the emptiness around you.
In the grass, coyotes wait. We must hide, protect our race. Gamble's quail, Gamble's quail. Gamble's quail, Gamble's quail. Bulbous bird, stumpy legs, gorgeous plume upon thy head. Gamble's quail, Gamble's quail. Gamble's quail, Gamble's quail. Through the brush, through the undergrowth, because we dare not fly. Through the winds and through the night, on spiders we shall dine.
We honestly, we just couldn't stop jamming this one.
That's awesome. That was awesome. I love the mood of that one.
It's spooky, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
We describe that one as that would be the closest to what if I were a bird in a band. That'd be my genre, I'd say. Indie rock bird.
Nice. Nice.
Well, how do the ornithologists feel about this one? How do the ornithologists feel?
That was
I
great.
really like
Any
the
quibble?
music.
Okay, but what about the accuracy? That's the most.
You have the right.
Oh, yeah.
I think of them as goofier than
Yeah.
Okay.
because they
Yeah.
run away and they're like, I don't know, like the Partridge Family birds,
Yeah. It'd be like writing a serious American woodcock song. You know what I mean? Like I feel like just yeah.
That's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
then-
can't wait.
Actually, I mean, we've kind of this has been in the background. I mean, all the video that you guys could potentially put towards this. I mean, your red-breasted merganser, Gamble's quail. I mean, those are you guys are that's a neat connection too.
Oh yeah, somebody did that. Just put the song with just some footage of Gamble's quail running around. It was very
awesome.
funny.
Oh, cool.
It's like the juxtaposition. You're like, This little goofy
Yeah,
thing.
our guest for the Gamble's Quail episode, Ellen Weatherford from the Just the Zoo of Us podcast, she definitely predicted that the song was going to be like really derpy and goofy, like just sort of like a do 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 kind of a thing, and she was really confused, pleasantly confused, but that it was so spooky and moody. But,
yeah. You
they don't think
expose their
they're
inner
goofy,
life.
right?
You expose the inner life of the Gamble's Quails. You told
Yes,
on
exactly.
you told on them what they're really like in secret.
I will say, Amanda and I saw Gamble's Quails in Sedona, Arizona, just like a month or two ago,
heck yeah.
and it was kind of right as the sun was setting, and it was kind of, we were out on our own, kind of in the desert, and it was getting like a little spooky. So I kind of get the genre.
I do too. It works, 100%. Yeah.
Does it make you want to record birds yourself? Like go into the wild with a nice tape recorder and record your own birds?
Yeah, it really does. I have a little Zoom just for, sometimes I'm like, that starling, that's a good one. I want to get that. But yeah, I haven't done that much, but I'm hoping to. I'm trying to get Tommy to like take a exotic trip so we can do the like Tropicalia album, go to Costa Rica and do some field recording.
Yeah, Billy's already he's already frothing at the mouth for that.
Yeah.
He's already working on like a toucan and a flamingo song. I'm like, whoa, dude, you haven't even seen one.
I haven't had a life plan until this podcast.
By the way, it's I don't know if you guys are around Chicago in October, but my band is playing the Metro. Would love to have you guys at the show.
Awesome.
We would love
October
that.
18th.
Oh, we'd love to.
No bird songs probably, unless Red Wing Blackbird really jumps off.
What if we're in the audience yelling Red Wing Blackbird?
Yeah, we're gonna make requests. Yeah.
We'll do it.
Oh man, the Metro, that's awesome, man. The Metro is an awesome venue.
It's a
Congrats.
great room. We love the Metro.
Yeah. Have you played there before?
Yeah, many times.
Oh, sweet,
Great
man.
place.
That's awesome.
Have you two been in the same band before?
Not really, no.
No? Okay. So just for this podcast?
Yeah, but that's about to change when we hit those bird festivals.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I
Believe
think
me.
Billy, you should travel with Tommy in case there's some bird requests.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll just be in the background waiting with wings. I come down.
Shannon, what were you about to say? Something about the bird circuit?
Yeah, we will definitely inform our friends and colleagues who run bird meetings about
Amazing.
about you guys. So
We would be honored. And also, by the way, an honor to and terrifying for us that actual ornithologists have listened to our podcast. So.
Yeah, thank you for having us on. Like, this is such a treat and truly an honor. Like, thank you for taking us seriously, even though we are very unserious.
I let
But
them
we
know.
love birds and love your podcast. So
I let
thank
them
you.
know immediately that I'd heard your first podcast. I'm like, we need to know them because
well, we're so happy to know you.
it made me really laugh. And sometimes these days it's not so easy to make people laugh, but it was really both clever and funny.
Thanks.
Well, thank you. We're having fun.
Good.
Yeah, we're excited to have you guys on as judges as well. So
You say that now.
yeah.
Well, in the meantime, think of if you have any bird ideas and genre ideas. So we have one, the Watson, right?
Yeah.
And I'm challenged now. I want to try and write that Wren song,
Oh, cool.
Because I was thinking with a Wren that you might just really have to dig deep into like the minutia of their, like, my little finch husband didn't come home, where's he at? Little like,
Ooh.
just one night in the night of a Wren, something.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
They're
Mockingbird.
territorial.
But see, I got to do
that
some
could be cool.
research first. I could write a whole song about a Wren.
Mockingbirds would be interesting too, because they mimic other birds, and they often mimic them before the birds are actually in the environment. So it can be really confusing because they can be very good mimics. So you hear something, you're like, and then you realize you're being fooled yet again by a mockingbird.
I was thinking about how to do that, and I thought it would be interesting to write a song where every single verse is an impression of a different singer for the Mockingbird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's a good one.
is like a Dylan thing, and then it jumps to like a
Oh, for sure.
like a Back in Black kind of a
That's awesome.
We have a lot of mockingbirds around us, and it's funny because I think for the most part I don't notice it until they really push it, and I'm like, okay, you're not a damn seagull. Okay? I can see that from here. Or like, you're not a hawk, but I love it when they go for those. It's impressive, but
It is.
You're not fooling me.
And I really loved what you did with Blackbird in the last episode that was you guys just released, with it being a European blackbird. But I noticed you didn't try to sing, so you're not going as far as being Paul McCartney.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I did not.
Flirting around the edges of that. But I really love that you said what the bird really was, what the blackbird really was in his song. I loved that.
That's great.
Yeah, what are some of your favorite music? I don't know how much more time we have, but just curious.
Shannon, you want to start?
I have very eclectic music tastes. I like classic rock. I like things like Enya. I liked Fine Young Cannibals. I love In Excess. I have to admit that I like some of Justin Timberlake's songs. I like Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, I grew up in this town is tiny, 7,000 people, and there was one radio station, and it was AM. And they had Italian news 5 times a day and a swap meet. And so my exposure to music as a child was pretty darn limited. I knew a lot about polka songs when I was
young. Heck yeah. Polka bird, heck yeah.
So it was American Bandstand was the thing that connected me to a much bigger world when I was a little kid. And my brother and I on Friday nights, a radio station called Sea Fun that was out of Vancouver used to be able to up its to the distance it could broadcast. And if we laid on the floor in my parents' bedroom with the clock radio just in the right place, we could get Sea Fun from Vancouver. And so we would listen to music laying on the floor of my parents' bedroom.
That's cool.
But for me, the reality is that music is really different. I lost hearing in my right ear, and it's actually hard to listen to music because it doesn't sound right. And you don't understand.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it sucks, but you don't understand what kinds of music are in stereo, like real serious stereo, until you can't hear it all. And the Beatles is one thing there's serious stereo sounds in the Beatles, where if you only hear one side of it, you miss it. So that makes me profoundly sad. I cannot listen to Beatles without
listen to the mono mixes, which are out there for all the records. So just look for the mono mixes, because I will say the Beatles fit into a specific category because stereo is so new that they didn't know what to do with it. So those early, like the Beatles records that did stereo for the first time, like the White Album and I think Sgt. Pepper's, and Magical Mystery Tour. Especially the White Album is hilarious because the drums will be on one side and the vocals will be on another. So if you hear a stereo mix of the White Album from the original stereo mixes in like a restaurant, you like just hear the drums if you're on one side of the restaurant. So like look for the mono mixes because you can listen to the Beatles, I swear.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because that's a challenge for me to.
Well, I can imagine, yeah.
Well, the mono mixes are better too because that's what they were mixing for at that time. The stereo was like an afterthought.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and do that too.
I know. I want to hear that. That's interesting. Man.
I'll be up at 3 a.m. now. It's all your fault. listening to music.
So I'm just a boring rock and folk guy.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's me.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Amanda?
I was going to say, I love 70s folk music. My number one favorite is John Denver. And I thought your Dancer song. Oh my God, Shannon!
I know that was a serious judgment. I get it.
I know.
Did you play that in Colorado in the mountains, Amanda?
Oh yeah, everywhere. I grew up on it, so it's like nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
But your Merganser song, that felt like John Denver to me. So I really like that. Yeah. So.
Our American Robin song that will be coming out pretty soon is pretty big nod to John Denver.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Do you guys ever do any like R&B style? Like I'm trying to think. I've got Al Green right now on our record player.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be a fun genre to get into.
Yeah. Be nice and smooth and slow.
God, what bird is Al Green?
Oh, a sexy
An
bird.
owl.
Owl.
An owl.
Whoa, yeah.
Oh, I love it, Shannon.
Yeah.
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 What bird is the cranberries?
Oh, that's a good one. Maybe a wren, or like a rennie or something like that could be fun. Cranberries, yeah.
It have to be something with a little bit of a yodel to it, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Distinct cranberries yodel.
Well, you've given us wonderful ideas, so thank you. Lots of things to chew on. Oh, also you mentioned Justin Bieber, Justin Birder. And I was thinking of that song. You know that song, like, what do you mean? You know that one?
Oh,
yeah.
We love that song.
Bring me some seed. If you want me to come, bring me some seed. That's all I got.
Oh,
That sounds awesome.
And the only other thing I'll mention before we go is that the cranberries, we were talking about this yodeling bird. I just searched for like what birds kind of have a yodeling call. It's right there in front of us. The common loon.
Oh, very
Perfect.
cool.
There we go.
Maybe not quite as high as I would have envisioned for a cranberry style song, but something to think about.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
that's awesome.
Well, guys, thanks so much for coming on. This has been such a blast.
So much fun.
Oh, this has been so much fun. Thanks for
Yeah.
having us, and so excited
Yeah.
to have you on our show soon.
Yeah. We're excited to come on and judge. Yeah.
what does judging mean? Just what Dan did? Because that I think I can handle.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
We're currently using 4 out
Pretty
of 5.
loose.
No, best out of 5 feather scale. Anything 3 and above out of 5 feathers is accurate.
Sweet.
I was going to say, Dan was impressive for his musical knowledge and associations.
Yeah, he was
That's
rocking.
good. Yeah.
He's a funny guy. I don't know if you guys looked at. How did you find him?
I found him through Blue Sky and Twitter. He's
Yeah.
like a very funny account.
He does. Yeah, he does. I think you really he's one of the people you really get a sense for who he is on social media, that's him authentically, which I like that a lot.
For
Heck
sure.
yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, thanks everyone.
Yeah, thanks for having us.